Let's solve this mystery. Rain hammered the windows of the old roadside motel as Jacob stepped inside the dimly lit lobby. He was drenched, exhausted, and desperate for a place to crash. The elderly clerk behind the counter barely looked at him, just slid over a key marked Room 6, cash only. And, don't open the door after midnight, the clerk muttered, eyes fixed on the desk. Jacob chuckled nervously. Right? Creepy local legend? The clerk didn't respond. Now I am gonna go ahead and guess that the reason that the clerk didn't want Jacob to open that door after midnight is because whatever was on the other side of that door only came out after midnight. Perhaps some sort of monster or a human-eating animal of some kind. But the story doesn't say that anything actually got out. It only says that things got in. So maybe it was the other way around. Maybe whatever was on the other side of the door didn't like it when the door was opened after midnight. And I'm guessing that whatever was on the other side of the door wasn't too happy about Jacob opening the door after midnight, because that's when we hear the voice. But who was that voice? Well, the story tells us that it sounded wrong, like someone trying to imitate a person, but not quite getting it right. This tells us two things. Whatever was on the other side of the door wasn't human, but it was intelligent enough to know that Jacob was in the room with him. It wanted to get in, but it couldn't quite figure out how to do it. It tried to mimic a human voice, but it just wasn't quite right. You know, like when an animal tries to meow but can't quite get the sound right, and it really wants to come in. I think the most terrifying part of this story is that whatever is on the other side of that door sounds like it has been trying to get in for a long time. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the desperation in its voice. Please help me. And then it tried to mimic Jacob's voice. Jacob, let me in. It wanted Jacob to open the door so badly that it tried to trick him. And then we see something else that's really terrifying. The light in the room flickered, and he heard heavy breathing on the other side. And then there was silence. That tells me that whatever was on the other side of the door had gotten in. And then we see more evidence of that when Jacob goes to check out and he sees those deep gouges in the wood. The door that the creature had been scratching at, the one that he had been warned not to open, had somehow been breached. And whatever was on the other side of that door had gotten out. So what was that thing? I don't know. But I do know this: wherever you are, whatever you do, don't open that door.